Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayaudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtaki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, Chapter 31, verse number 29. Yes, who would like to read the verse? Anjali, Mataji, go ahead.
Hare
Anjali,
Krishna.
Mataji.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Vidura Uvacha. Soyam Adya Mahayogin Bhavata Karunatmana Darshitastamasah Paru Yatra Kinchi Nago Harihi. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Krishna. Madhumay Krishna Kanta Mataji.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Vidura Uvacha. So ayam adya mahayogin bhavata karunatmana darshitastamasah paro yatra akinchana go harihi. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Krishna. Chitramohini Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. Vidura Uvacha. So ayam madhyama yogin bhavata karunatmana darshitasamassa paro yatra kinchana go harihi. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Ayushi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Vidura Uvacha. Soyam Adya Mahayogin Bhavata Karunatmana Darshita Samasa Paro Yatra Kinchana Go Hari. Thank you very much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Vijay Kumari Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Vidura Vacha. So ayam adya mahayogin bhavada karunatmana darshidastamasaha paro yatra kinjana kohari. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Thank you. Srinivas Rao Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Viduro Vacha. Soyamadya Mahayogin Bhavata Karunatmana Darshita Tamasaha Paro Yatta Kinchana Go Harihi.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Pushpam Mataji.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Vidura Uvacha. Soyam Adye Mahayogin Bhavata Karunatmana Darshita Paro Yatra Kinjana Go Harihi. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Shubhara Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Dandavat Pranam.
Pranam.
Vidura Uvacha. Soyamadya Mahayogin Bhavata Karunatmana Darshitastamasah Paro Yatra Kinchana Go Harihi. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Leena Mataji. Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Dandavat Pranam. Vidur Uvacha. Soyamadya Mahayogin Bhavata Karunatmana Darshitastamasah Paro Yatra Kinchana Go Harihi.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Revati Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Surya Madhya Mahayogin Bhavata Karuna Atmana Darshita Paro Bhatra Kinjana Go Harihi. Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. Vidur Uvacha. Vidur said, Saha, that I am this, Adya, today. Mahayogin, O great mystic, Bhavata, by you. Karuna Atmana, most merciful. Darshitaha, I have been shown. Tamasaha, of the darkness. Paraha, the other side. Yatra, where. Akinchanagaha, approachable by the materially free. Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Ki Jai. Shri Vidur said, O great mystic, O greatest of all devotees, by your causeless mercy, I have been shown the path of liberation from this world of darkness. By following this path, a person liberated from the material world can return home, back to Godhead. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. This material world is called tamaha, dark, and the spiritual world is called light. The Vedas enjoin that everyone should try to get out of the darkness and go to the kingdom of light. What is the verse? Tamso ma jyotirgama. Information of the kingdom of light can be attained through the mercy of a self-realized soul. One also has to get rid of all material desires. As soon as one frees himself from material desires and associates with the liberated person, the path home back to Godhead is clear. Om Agyan Timirandasya Jnananjam Shalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manovishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Hey Krishna, Karna Sindhu, Teen Bandhu Jagatpate, Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate, Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishbhanuste Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advait Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakti Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Shri Vidur said, O great mystic, O greatest of all devotees, by your causeless mercy, I have been shown the path of liberation from this world of darkness. By following this path, a person liberated from the material world can return home, back to Godhead. Alright, we're reading from 4th canto Srimad Bhagavatam, which is entitled Creation of the Fourth Order, chapter number 31, almost towards the end, which is entitled as what?
Narada instructs
Narada
the
instructs Prachetas.
Muni instructs
Narad
Prachetas.
Muni is instructing the Prachetas. When Vidur is saying he's addressing, oh great mystic, who is he addressing to? Who is the
Maitreya.
Maitreya.
Maitreya Rishi? And what did Maitreya Rishi tell Vidur so far that actually made him so aesthetic in Krishna consciousness? What was he discussing? Pastime of?
Pastimes of Prachetas.
Which are the descendants of?
Priya Uttanapada. Uttanapada.
Uttanapad. Who is the son of?
Swayambhuva Manu.
Who is the son of?
Brahmaji.
Brahma. Nice. So, and Prachetas are the descendants of Dhruva Maharaj, or Uttanapad, we can say. So, Vidur asked what question originally? He asked the pastime. He asked for the pastime of the Prachetas. So that is in the middle. That is in the middle. Actually, it started from Dhruva Maharaj's pastime, and then it went to the pastime of. Yes, after Dhruva Maharaj's pastime, what pastime started?
Prachina
No.
Ritu Maharaj.
Before Ritu Maharaj, King Ganga. Yes, Ritu Maharaj, and then Ritu Maharaj. After Ritu Maharaj, what started?
Prachetas.
Prachina
Prachetas.
Bharishat.
Puranjana.
King Puranjana, Prachina
King
Bharishat.
Puranjana. Yeah.
And then King Puranjana, then what started?
Then the Prachetas.
Then the Prachetas.
Prachetas only.
Yes,
I got doubt when you are putting like
and
that.
now it will be Priyavrat, the other son of Sambhav Muni. Now Vidur is praying, he's actually teaching us that how to actually show gratitude to a spiritual master who's a pure devotee. That by your causeless mercy, it's not that because I am such a good student, because I have such a good listening power, and because I am so many opulences in this world, but I'm still coming to you, so now you give it to me. He's not saying like that. Vidur is saying, I have no qualification. It is only by your causeless mercy that you have shown me this path of liberation from the darkness of this world. So by your causeless mercy. Namashima was telling me, 3rd canto, 8th chapter, I have to go back and read. he was telling that how in that particular chapter, it is discussed how a devotee should talk to another devotee. So I was like going on and on and on, but I took a note. So make sure that we have this kind of a mentality, that when we approach a spiritual master, we are approaching as if we don't have anything material. I'm not going there because I have some material possession. Generally, when we walk in this material world, when we talk in this material world, we talk out of an element of pride that I have something. I am qualified. So that is a kind of a pride, right? Pride of possessing something. But that doesn't work if we want to get across the material world. Paraha. We want to go to the paraha, the other side of the material world, then the qualifications of this material world will not take us to another side of the material world. It's like if you have, I don't know if it works in every degree like that, but if you have like a doctor degree in India and then you come to America, it's not recognized. Maybe a very world-class doctor in India, but you have to go through the exams in America to become recognized in America, right? So it's like, what I'm trying to say is, like, if we have some possessions, Janmam Aishwarya Shrutashri bhi, right? The 4 possessions in this material world, they are not going to work in the spiritual world. They're going to be useless. Nobody's going to look at us because somebody was born in a very rich family, because somebody is very powerful, very beautiful, or very famous. It doesn't, or very educated. Doesn't matter. In Golok or Vrindavan, in Vaikuntha, these qualifications are not going to work. Okay, so what qualifications are going to work? We have to become a devotee of Krishna. How do we become devotee of Krishna? By keeping, okay, these qualifications are there, but that's not the reason why I've gotten the mercy of a spiritual master. One needs to remember this: by your causeless mercy. Okay, Vidur is not an ordinary person. Otherwise, why would Vyasdev write about him? His conversations with Maitreya Rishi. He's not going to write about an ordinary person. What has happened with the causeless mercy of the spiritual master? The spiritual master has shown the path of liberation from this world of darkness. One has to become convinced. You see, the qualifications of this material world are very capable of keeping one in the material world. But if somebody is convinced that I have to get out of this material world because this material world is dark, then acquire the qualifications required for the other part of the existence. And he's calling this world as darkness. He is uncle of Pandavas. He's not ordinary. He is the brother of Dhritarashtra. He's not ordinary. He lives in Hastinapur. He has all riches, exposure. I know we can say that he was born from the maidservant and not from the queen. That's fine, but still Dhritarashtra and Pandu treated him like their own brother, right? So, why would he say darkness? Because a poor person who has not seen any richness in this life, who is uneducated, who is living on very tough conditions, if they say the life is difficult, it's easy to believe because it's visible that the life is difficult. But a person who is very well situated in their home, family, wealth, education, generally they don't say that the life is difficult or this world is dark. Generally, they're planning some vacation or the other. Yeah, do you have the experience? Generally, they're planning that they have this destination, that destination, to see this kind of designer clothes to wear, shoes to wear, bags to wear, watches to wear, jewelry to wear. Yeah, because they're not convinced that this world is of darkness. So how come Vidur, who is actually connected to a royal family, maybe in an indirect way, he's saying that this is a world of darkness? Cannot, unless and until a spiritual master gives a causeless mercy. So if we see a highly qualified person, George Harrison, right? Prabhupada says George Harrison is my uninitiated disciple. Now, George Harrison was fully convinced that Krishna consciousness is the best way of leading a life. He was a billionaire. Even by today's calculation, George Harrison's net money is in billions. Still, his albums are going to be sold in vast number. But he didn't like associate himself with that. So we have examples like that in Kali Yuga. We have Ramananda Rai. Right? Ramananda Rai is very, very, very rich. We have Raghunath Das Goswami. Okay, we can say those personalities are not very visible or approachable because it was 500 years ago. Then look at the personalities now. You can take inspiration. Otherwise, the material world darkness causes layers of ignorance. And I wanted to bring this up that how this acts. So you know this verse, right? I think you might know. 3rd canto, 28th chapter, verse 18, where Brahma is saying, first of all, Brahma created from his shadow the coverings of ignorance of the conditioned soul. They are 5 in number and are called Tamishra, Anthitamishra, Tamas, Moha, and Mahamoha. Right? Prabhupada explains that there are 5 layers of ignorance of a conditioned soul. First layer is Tamishra, second layer is Anthitamishra, then Tamas, Moha, and Mahamoha. So Tamishra, Prabhupada explains, is anger. Is a covering of Tamishra, anger. Says anger, why? Because this constitutionally each and every living entity has minute independence. It is a misuse of that minute independence for the conditioned soul to think that he can also enjoy like the Supreme Lord, or to think, why shall I not be a free enjoyer like the Supreme Lord? This forgetfulness of his constitutional position is due to anger and envy. This is called Tamishra. Okay, so, and then he says, Andha Tamishra. Now, very important line when I was reading this purport is Prabhupada is saying, let me read the whole thing, the first paragraph. The living entity, being eternally a part and parcel servitor of the Supreme Lord, can never, by constitution, be an equal enjoyer with the Lord. When he forgets this, however, and tries to be one with him, his condition is called Tamishra. Even in the field of spiritual realization, this Tamishra mentality of the living entity is hard to overcome. In trying to get out of the entanglement of material life, there are many who want to be one with the Supreme. Even in their transcendental activities, this low-grade mentality of Tamishra continues. Be careful. It's not that if I am engaged in transcendental activities, then I have come out of the ignorance. Even the first layer of ignorance one cannot percolate because the mentality is so hard to overcome. In the Bhakti Shastri class on Sunday, one person asked me, how do we actually overcome the tendency to be impersonalist? You know, I'm glad that he asked this question because we are impersonalist in many, many ways right now also. When you chant Hare Krishna, you can see that where I am being an impersonalist. I'll give you an example. You tell me that let's say somebody is feeling depressed or sad or grieving, okay? And then they come to another person who might be practicing Krishna consciousness. What is the most common, words of comfort that a person is offered? Is there somebody is going through a hard time and they come to a person who's practicing Krishna consciousness? What is the most common way of comforting that we do? Most common. Be honest.
This time will also pass.
Okay, this time will pass. Okay. What else? What else we say?
We
Krishna
can
is
show
there
little
to rescue
compassion
us.
to our
Krishna is there
words.
to rescue. Okay. What else we say?
We can
Everybody
show little
passes through
compassion
these.
for our words.
Everybody passes through this. Okay. What else?
Get solution for that problem.
You give solution to the problem. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Whatever
Everything is
somebody is
temporary.
grieving, then what will you? What solution?
Somebody will quote another person who was grieving more. So,
Okay.
like
Okay.
worse situations, they will quote. This
Acha.
this is nothing.
Mhm.
There are.
Thank you.
Everything is temporary.
Ah.
Like Mataji, this is like
Mm.
small line and big line. Comparing with small line and if small line is there, you will draw a big line, then this becomes a very small line. And
Okay.
when
So you
problems are
okay?
compared in that way, Yeah, na? See,
Okay.
somebody is
Chalo.
having a grievance. Yeah, I
Okay,
think,
what else?
yeah, but
There has
What
to be
else?
I
some
never
reason
compared,
behind
but I
everything.
just started. Nowadays, what happened? I just pray to chant 2 more rounds. Then I don't know. Probably automatically the problem will be resolved. Honestly, I'm telling.
Okay,
This is what
thank you.
happened in the.
Thank
So
you.
everybody
Okay.
believe in Krishna. Krishna is there. That's all.
Okay. What else? What else?
Maybe I will say chant and be happy because the
Thank
creator of
you.
this world is saying, this is Dukhalaya Shashvatam. So
Uh,
there's no happiness and no sukha. So just chant and give your life to Krishna's hand. Krishna will take care.
Thank you very much, Mataji, for being honest. Okay. You
Yeah.
see, all these words of comfort which are coming from people who are practicing Krishna consciousness are, do you think they're going to touch the heart of a person who is depressed, sad, or grieving? Do you think?
No,
Do you really think?
no,
Okay.
Mataji, it won't help.
Okay. Okay.
Mataji, no, Mataji.
No? Okay. Anybody who thinks it will touch the heart of the other person when we say like this? So I'm just having a
You have
discussion.
to
I'm not analyzing.
Yes, yes, Mataji,
you have to
does
let
touch.
Yes,
him
Mataji,
feel.
it touches for
Okay,
some time
too
at
many
least.
people speaking at the same time. Okay, Prem Prakash, Adas Prabhu, then Dr. Saxena, then Dr. Avasthi. Go ahead, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji, you have to let him feel that you are recognizing his sorrow
Mm.
and you are sensitive enough to understand that he is really passing through a tough time. Then and then he might probably listen to you.
Thank you. Okay. Dr. Saxena, will it help?
Yes,
The
Mataji.
words that we
Yes,
discussed.
Mataji. Yes, Mataji. These words really do touch heart and also give some peace and solace to the person.
Okay. Thank you.
That is
Dr. Avasthi.
Hare Krishna. Mataji, these words actually soothe enough for some times, but as the world is temporary, actually these words are also temporary. Matlab, these are not consolidated. But if I feel so, if these words are coming from the mouth of a devotee, it actually we feels ki definitely they would be meaning something. So actually they impact.
Okay. Thank you.
And conviction.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing, everyone. The thing is that when somebody is sad, depressed, or grieving, the maybe you have different experience, and this is we're just sharing an experience. We're not like trying to examine or give scores to who's better, who's not better. It's like what really helps is that they have to speak their heart out, right? We have to give them space to speak up, because when the other person speaks, they hear their own voice. And if we speak over them, then we actually interrupt their own voice. Okay, so if somebody is like really, really like sad, depressed, grieving, even if you're in Krishna consciousness, try to be personal with them, giving advice, giving scriptural knowledge. They're all good things. I'm not saying that this is wrong. Giving words of comfort, finding out a solution. How will you find out a solution for somebody who's grieving the loss of a loved one? How will you find this? I don't know. So is that so we are practicing impersonalism there. Why impersonalism? Because we are trying to invalidate or minimize the experience or the emotions of the other person. We're not seeing the other person. You see, it's so subtle. It's so subtle. Impersonalism is so subtle, but we are there because we have not practiced Krishna consciousness in so many lifetimes. So we have practiced something. So impersonalism. So why I brought this up, because Prabhupada is writing, even in the field of spiritual realization, this Tamishra mentality of the living entity is hard to overcome. In trying to get out of the entanglement of material life, there are many who want to be one with the Supreme. Even in their transcendental activities, this lower grade mentality of Tamishra continues. Of course, he is talking about yogis who want to merge in the existence of Krishna, like Brahman effulgence. So, of course, he is talking about that is actually because of one effect of Tamishra, first layer of ignorance. But what I'm trying to say is that even though we are chanting Hare Krishna, don't think we are becoming personal with everybody we meet. We are not. it'll take some time, but my words will make some sense maybe some years down the lane, that this is not the way that we become personal. Krishna does not become personal. When did Krishna start advising Arjun? The minute he saw Arjun crying, the minute he saw signs of weakness of heart in Arjun, or when did he really start talking to Arjun? When did he really start talking to Arjun?
When
In
Arjun
second
was
second chapter,
born.
Mother.
Because
The full
After
guidance
2.7,
of
2.7.
relatives, friends, family.
when
So
he
can you please
surrendered,
raise your hand and answer, because I can't understand. Oh, I am so grateful that you are, wanting to, what do you say, participate, but please understand my shortcoming. I can't understand when everybody speaks at the same time. Yes, Dr. Sinha, when does Krishna really starts to talk to Arjun? When? What
Mataji,
point?
when he listens him quietly all his problems, and thereafter he surrenders, then only he
Oh,
starts talking
yeah,
or
thank
giving
you.
advice.
Thank you. Prem Prakash Haridas Prabhu.
after 2.7,
What is that? What is that? What is happening? What happens after seventh
actually
verse?
when in 2.7, actually Arjun completely surrenders to Lord Krishna and says, now you tell me what is right for me. That's
Yes.
when he's surrendering, and then Krishna turns around and starts telling him.
Thank
Till
you.
then, he's just talking like a friend.
Thank you. Yes. You see, we have to learn from this from Krishna. When we start giving advice or offer solutions or words of comfort when other person is ready. Okay. Otherwise, it is impersonalism until then, because we are not letting the other person sink in their own thing. The problem is when other people's feelings make us uncomfortable, we want to make ourselves comfortable. So we have to say something. But it's not about us when we are trying to help someone, when we are trying to be personal with someone, when we are trying to build a relationship with another devotee to enhance in Krishna consciousness. The only thing we can do at the time is tell me more, rather than saying, don't worry, your problem, you lost 100 rupees, I lost 1 lakh rupees one time. or advice solution, next time you carry a credit card and not the cash. No, these things are impersonalism, because we are trying to make ourselves comfortable, because we are trying to make us in the center. So understand how we are actually where these layers are sitting in our existence, the mishra. Then the next layer of ignorance is Andhata Mishra, which involves considering death to be the ultimate end. Okay, so we have only one life. So Andhata Mishra. Atheists generally think that body is the self and everything is therefore ended with the end of the body. Then Andhata Mishra, this Andhata Mishra ignorance is due to tamas. Remember what Vidur is calling this world? Tamaha, tamasaha, darshitas tamasaha. So tamas is coming here. So under the Mishra tamas, condition of not knowing anything about the spirit soul is called tamas. So why is this material world tamas? This material world is also generally called tamas because 99% of its living entity are ignorant of their identity as the soul. That is why this world is tamas. Okay, because 99% of us don't know that I am not the body, I'm the soul. So, and then it leads to moha. Because, okay, I'm going to read this. Is very powerful. Almost everyone is thinking that he is this body. He has no information of the spirit soul. Guided by this misconception, one always thinks this is my body and anything in relationship with this body is mine. For such misguided entities, sex life is the background of material existence. Actually, the conditioned souls in ignorance in this material world are simply guided by sex life. And as soon as they get the opportunity for sex life, they become attached to so-called home, motherland, children, wealth, and opulence. So-called home, so-called motherland, so-called children, so-called wealth, and so-called opulence. As these attachments increase, moha or illusion of the bodily concept of life also increases. Thus, the idea that I am this body and everything belonging to this body is mine also increases. And as the whole world is put into moha, sectarian societies, families, and nationalities are created. And they fight with one another. Maha moha means to be mad after material enjoyment. Especially in this age of Kali, everyone is overwhelmed by the madness to accumulate paraphernalia for material enjoyment. Okay, so these are the 5 layers of ignorance. Tamishra, which is anger. Andha Tamishra, which is not knowing that death is not the ultimate end. Tamas, which is not knowing that I'm not the body. Moha, having attachment to on the basis of sex life. Mahamoha, gathering the accumulations for increasing the paraphernalia for material enjoyment. So Vidur is praying. This is not an ordinary prayer. First, it's the causeless mercy of the spiritual master. No, I have no qualification. I have been shown the path of liberation from this world of darkness. So why is this world dark? Because of not having an identity that I am not the body, I'm the soul. Is by following this path, a person liberated from the material world can return home back to Godhead. So you've shown me something which is going to take me back to Godhead, back home. Prabhupada is writing, return home back to Godhead. See, we are lost. If you see people who have memory loss, especially people suffering from problems like Alzheimer's disease, right? Or schizophrenia, they lose the memory. Bipolar disorder, they don't remember. They actually don't remember. It's a fact. They, yeah, and then in old age home, if you go in old age home and then you look at those old people, their memories faded. They can't remember their own self. You talk to them, who are you? What is your name? It takes a long time for them to remember. It takes a long time, or sometimes they don't even remember whether they have a family, they don't have a family, they have children, they have wife, they have husband. What are they? So if somebody comes and, brings them back to the memory, how grateful the person will be. Like that, similar situation is for everyone, actually. We've lost our memory. And this loss of memory can be revived only by following this path of devotional service, which is given to us by our acharyas. Otherwise, we will continue with this memory loss business life after life. Okay, so we have a choice, very clear. At the end of each verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, it becomes very, very clear that we are not out of choices. We have a choice. At any time, I can decide that this is not how my story is going to end in this life. At any time. It doesn't matter how old one person is. It doesn't matter what level of Krishna consciousness one is. It doesn't matter, when did you start chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. At any time you have a choice, because this choice is given to us by Krishna. This time factor is not going to be dependent on, it's not going to interfere with this choice. At any time I can make a choice. I'm not going to end this story of my life or this narrative in this life in this way anymore. Okay, but if we want to continue, then we have to be conscious that I'm weak, I cannot do it, I'm going to continue. So we have choice. You're not out of choices. Krishna consciousness is so nice. So understand the levels of ignorance. Understand that this is not an ordinary prayer. Understand this is not a sentimental statement. This is happening out of the intelligence of Vidur, the spiritual intelligence which has been awakened by the mercy of Maitra Rishi. And understand that the material qualifications are of no value in the other part of the world, spiritual world. They're of no value. Even the spiritual designations are of no value in the other part of the world. There's no value. So what is of value? The value is that how much did I? That doesn't mean that we become lazy and we don't do our work or we don't take care of our responsibilities. As long as one is actually not liberated, one has to take care of those responsibilities, right? Swadharma and Sanatan Dharma. But make strides towards the path, which is really the path back home, because we have lost our memory. And the acharyas have come like commanders in our lives to revive our memory. So let them come. Don't lock the door on them. Let them come. Okay, because they can take us. Questions, reflections, realizations, corrections. And then I want to start the Mana Siksha. Prem Prakash Haridas Prabhu, please go ahead. Wait for your punchline.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I just wanted to add with your permission As you very rightly said, that those are the things like beauty and the education, money, etc. Prabhupada gives very good example of a currency, that these are the currencies which are only usable in the material world. The currency of the spiritual world is entirely different. So if you have only rupees, you can't use it in England. They are useless.
Right.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Thank you. Very nice. Thank you very much for adding that. Okay, any other question, reflection, realizations, corrections? You know, I don't know what to say because you all are very active with Prem Prakash Hardas Prabhu when he takes classes. And then something happens when Prem Kishori comes. Maybe I'm so dominating, but I have heard the classes that in his classes, everybody is like so relaxed and listening and participating. Is it not, Prem Prakash Hardas Prabhu? This is your magic?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandot Pranam Mataji. Please forgive me for all my mistakes.
Why forgive